Hi, I'm Mark Thomas, and most of you know that I'm running for Alderman here in the 44th Ward, and of course, most people know I own the alley stores here. A lot of people wonder why I'm running for Alderman, and I have to be frank with you. I was a big supporter of Tom Tunney for many years, and I really think that Tom is still a wonderful man, but I think that Tom did a lot of great things for the community before. However, I've seen a huge change in our community, and I've seen a huge change in our aldermen. And 3 or 4 years ago, I came to a huge disagreement with him over Walmart coming into the community. And I saw that we really had divergent ideas about the future of Lakeview. And I thought Walmart was a horrible fit for the community. In fact, the community thought Walmart was a horrible fit. Sullivan, I believe, voted almost 80% against having Walmart in the community, and Alderman Tunney stood up and said, we're not going to say no to any business in the community. So now we fast forward a little bit, and suddenly I have an incident, which many of you saw on YouTube, where I had a state's attorney who bit one of my people, and we went and we had her arrested. And the next thing I know, 6-7 days later, without any kind of notice, without any kind of community meetings, all the streets were closed at Clark Street and Halstead. And after 15 or 20 days of sending emails and begging for relief, and for myself and the community, I mean, this community was devastated economically when these streets were closed down. And suddenly one day I get a voicemail that I played on Fox TV of Alderman Tunney telling me how he had just gotten to reading my emails, and oh, by the way, his friend was the attorney for this poor woman who had been arrested, and that we really had to be concerned with her humility. You know, and he never asked me once whether my guy who got bit by her was okay, whether my people were all right. He was just more concerned about this state's attorney who had really acted out poorly. And so her father, who was a very powerful politician, hired a great attorney, and suddenly this case went away. But Anita Alvarez fired her the next day. The Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Committee is currently examining her license. And in fact, I was called by the Inspector General and interviewed about the incident. And the Inspector General, in his biannual report, made comments that Alderman Tunney had done things that were inappropriate to an elected official. And then, of course, the board that's found nobody guilty in 25 years, even though 25 aldermen have gone to jail, unfounded the inspector's finding. So all of this seems to be a big coincidence. The construction, the calls from the aldermen, and then 7 days before Christmas here in 2014, I pull up to find all kinds of equipment and digging holes in front of my stores and signs that nobody could park in front of my store for 2 weeks. I sent an email out to the community, I called Tunney's office, and the little Christmas fairy showed up and, you know, made it all go away. And then on Monday, it was all back. So I called Brad Edwards over at CBS 2, and he came over and he videoed it, and then he called the alderman who said, oh my God, what a terrible mistake. And of course we'll make them go away until after the holidays. And so thanks to Brad Edwards at CBS, suddenly the constructions got moved to after the holidays. Then I had Alderman Tunney, who was objecting to my petitions. We out-petitioned him, but he said that I didn't live in my apartment at 3260 Lakeshore Drive. I'd moved out of my house 14 months earlier, but this is just part of Chicago politics. You object, you burn up your competition's money, you hold them off from the big contributors as long as you can, and it's not whether you beat them fairly, it's a game of chess. It's a game of Chicago political chess, and in fact, he knocked off Robin Cook, who's a gay activist in our community, because when they passed the new register online ordinance for this whole state of Illinois, there was one little line at the bottom that said that the aldermen in the city of Chicago now require twice as many signatures to get on there. So Why that didn't affect any other city in the whole state of Illinois and got stuck into that bill is beyond me, but Robin Cook would be joining me today on the ballot if that law hasn't been passed. So, I'm too old to believe in a coincidence. And people ask me, well, do you think the alderman did this on purpose? And do you think the alderman did that on purpose? And whether he did it on purpose or it was bad management, it's time for a change. It's time for Tom to retire, and it's time for somebody new to take a shot, because the crime and the empty storefronts and the discomfort that everybody in the community has felt have to be changed. Thanks for listening to my story, and I hope you'll vote for me, and please visit my website, voteformarkthomas.org.